Do we want to wait for him, or are we going to just get started?
But you just had them here.
I said I'll be here in like a minute.
We had a real celebration because we were supposed to have both of us married weddings at our house. During COVID, we were one of them. So they got married in like or wherever they were, and then my son had a baby, or was pregnant.
Audio is on.
So we were celebrating two weddings.
Where's your button? Where's your button to make?
That was tough. Got my walking.
Your right foot, my left foot. Did you see what I did? I did this on Friday.
Ooh.
It's so swollen.
Yeah, it
So, did you see what I did? It's leash burn from the dog.
Ah.
She didn't do it, but it was my fault. It's a 30-foot leash because when she's at work, I just let her run. I don't hold on it. I don't hold on to it. I let it go, and when she ran, it was wrapped. She went one way, I went the other way, and I couldn't move my leg fast enough.
Yeah.
She's got speed on her.
Something tells me the woman's life expectancy is short.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the work session for August 16th, 2022. It is 5:33 actually now. I'll call this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Vice Mayor Suey?
Here.
Commissioner Romanek?
Here.
Commissioner McQuaid?
Here.
Mayor Orndorff?
Here. Stand for the salute of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, was there any changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor, there are not.
Looks like we have a presentation.
Yep, so this is for solar landscape, so if you want to just introduce yourself, and it's all yours.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Betsy McBride. Full disclosure, I'm a former Township Committee woman and two-time mayor of Pennsauken. I left when I left city government. I was asked to consult with Solar Landscape, and I did not find it a heavy lift because I found that the program that I'm about to tell you about was good for residents in our municipalities. Good for cleaner air, and good for the bottom dollar for municipal government. So I have a presentation. It's going to be behind you, and I assume you're going to need to spin around. But let me know when I can start. I wanted to thank Ray Campari for checking out this presentation and suggesting that I come before the commission to present it to you. Solar Landscape is the name of the company, and I want to give you a presentation based on the fact that you might know nothing about community solar. So it is benefiting lower income residents primarily. It's 50% has to be benefiting our lower income families. It prevents tons of carbon emissions, and people don't have to have panels on their rooftops. So community solar is available to everyone, so there's access for all. It was passed in the Clean Energy Act of 2018. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities went out to an application phase in the first year, and then those applications were awarded in December of 2019. Pennsauken was the recipient of 2 of the awarded projects. You'll see later in the presentation. It's because I had been contacted and had learned about the program and brought it before Township Committee. And then they got 410 applications. They awarded the grants they awarded the projects for the second year in October of 2021. It's a very difficult time, as you know, because we were all in COVID. So they were reviewing all these applications. Nobody could meet. Everything was virtual. We needed to go before municipal government and say, you know, this is something good for your town, without the ability to meet. So in October of 2021, year 2 projects were awarded, and Solar Landscape was awarded 46 of the 51 megawatts available, being the #1 solar community solar provider in the state. Something not going, whoops, went too far, just a second. Well, that was a press piece from Secaucus. So we're in a lot of different municipalities, and the challenge is to educate our municipal government, because many of us had to deal with aggregation, and we called it aggravation, because there were opt-out requirements. There were long-term contracts. Residents didn't want to buy into an aggregate, and whenever there was a problem, they called the township building. So this is not that. It's also not a third-party billing. So Solar Landscape builds the project on commercial warehouse rooftops. And that's generally, if you look at that picture, that's warehousing, so they don't require that much energy to operate the building. So the energy that is produced goes out into the grid. So the host, the warehouse owner, property owner, is getting a lease payment to be up on the roof for 20 years. And then the municipality acts as a liaison to help us to promote the program, honestly, to say, this is good for our residents, it will clean our local air, it will be good for our environment, it'll be good for your bills, and it will help my low and moderate income families. For some reason it doesn't want to advance. So the resident benefits, it's about environmental justice, lower costs, cleaner air, access for all. Doesn't matter if you're in an apartment, a condo, a high-rise, affordable housing, and you don't have to have panels on your roof. You don't have to be able to afford to do that. Come on. I'm sorry. 51% by government order, by the governor's decree, have to be available to low and moderate income families. And it's a guaranteed discount off of their electric usage bill every year, with no long-term contracts or hidden fees. And then we also, because we're going to be in the community for 20 years, we partner with the municipality and the nonprofits to be a good partner. The energy is generated. It's clean energy, obviously. It goes into the grid and sold to the residents. The resident gets the savings. It reduces the impact of climate change locally, and it provides access for all, as I said. These are the 2 projects that were awarded in year 2 for Millville. They are under construction. Those are the addresses. That's the size of the rooftops. And if you need more information, I can get the construction team to tell me what's going on specifically with those. So in that situation, the project size is 7.51 megawatts. That's not a language I'm used to speaking. But I can tell you it's going to power 1,200 homes in Millville, 600 of which have to be low and moderate income families. So far, the program has been saving a lot of power usage, because if you remember, I think your ACE, is that correct? Your ACE is your utility company? So ACE has to retire the amount of fossil fuel energy commensurate with the amount of solar that's coming into the grid. Millville is a particularly wide open area, so the rooftops that are available, afford an opportunity for a lot of solar generation. These are the projects that we had in year one, and they are all turned on. So Perth Amboy, North Bergen, Edison, Woodridge, 2 in Pennsauken, and 1 in Teterboro. These are some of the supporting organizations we work with. It's a big list in small print, but I have specifically been working with Samantha Silvers and Heather Santoro here in Holly City, and also with the Housing Authority. So in workforce development, which is part of the reason why I like it, is because we need to really retrain our workforce. People need to get out of something that might not be working for them and their families, and they can get a living wage. It's not a minimum wage, it's not a living wage. It's actually going to be now a family sustainable wage, because they will get prevailing wages, which will afford them the opportunity to perhaps have a spouse not work while, caring for a family member or a new child in the family. So we train people and put them to work, and we enroll high schoolers in our Green Ambassadors program, fully cognizant of the way that we're going to be addressing climate change in the future is going to be the job of our younger people. We are going to be, hoping that they do that, and we are going to be wanting to have them trained to do that. And that is really the presentation. I have also just wanted to show you, if I can get it up. Get my thing to end here. Just a second. And I have also, I did a presentation for the Housing Authority, and what we want to be able to do is to look at residents in your housing authorities. Won't get any bigger for me here, but we gave them the same basic presentation, but we can do behind the meter and we can do individual meters. And it's an opportunity, and we sometimes go to events, and we offer the resident a $50 Visa gift card at the time that they sign on, and a donation to the partnering nonprofit. So in conversation with Heather, we were talking about something that could benefit the family center. So we're looking at doing something perhaps in the fall. In the year 3, which is not yet, the applications haven't happened yet. So this document just does not want to scroll up. Oh, here we go. I can do it. So this is how we have this document that we can hand out to residents, and we even have easier ones like subscribe today, refreshments being served. I used to work at Urban Promise in Camden, so we have ways to communicate well with people in food distribution sites and community-wide events. I'll close that now. Close all. So we have actually if we're going to be subscribing 1,200 families, 1,200 households in Millville, we want to be among you. And I want to make sure that I talk to the new commission, because I had presented to the commission that was sitting before, and introduce you to me and tell you what we can do as partners. We're going to be doing those two projects and likely some in the future. So, you know, I wanted to also say there are other community solar developers in the state of New Jersey. Just because we have a good team and we've done it well doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to come and do the same presentation for you. We are not in competition. It is definitely an avenue for people to get behind, for our residents to save money on their electric bills, and for us to clean our local air, and to transition into this cleaner, safer fuel. So with that, I'm open for any questions, and I'd be happy to field them.
I have a couple. The first, you mentioned that ACE has to cut the amount of fossil fuels equivalent to the solar you're installing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how's this work when we require more power for our local industry, and also with the switch over to electric cars, if they have to keep cutting the grid while you're adding to the grid, then there's no increase to the grid. So can you explain to me how that balances out with the needs for development?
So the grid is expanding. It is going to need to expand for the amount of fuel or power generation you're going to need in Cumberland County. I live in Salem County now. You know, these are areas that people want to responsibly develop. So the Board of Public Utilities has 100% oversight over this program. So they see where people are wanting to expand and what does it look like, and is the local government in favor of it, and then they can make sure that they are, that the interconnections are there for the grid. I hope that explains it.
No, because I don't understand where the power's coming from. If they're cutting production of power while you're increasing production of power and require more power, we need a net increase,
So the
not
power-
a break-even point. That's
Yep.
what I don't understand.
So the power is going, so the power that's generated from the panels on the rooftops is going to go right into the grid. And so that's there to be used, it's available. And so the cutting is the amount that's being provided from the outside source is no longer needed here. The more that the need is increased, the more that, you know, ACE will also be working to balance that need.
So they're going to continue to generate
They
power
will
by
continue
whatever
to
means
generate power,
necessary,
yes.
correct?
It is a reduction, it's not an elimination.
Kind of more like an addition, but anyway.
It is.
Okay, thank you for that.
It is an addition, but it is also an addition based on the need, right? So as the need is increased, then there's going to need to be an addition.
Next, I was noticing your job up there, it said Green Energy Ambassador, so what exactly is that?
So a green energy ambassador are the kids who we train at the high schools to be able to teach others in their community what it means to be green. And they get scholarships that will be high school if that's necessary, or college scholarships
Okay.
in environmental
Now,
programs primarily.
I have one last question. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I really don't understand it when I hear it. And this goes for several terms, and one of them is, you said environmental justice. Can you explain to me what environmental justice is?
So, yes, sir, I can. If we don't have the same access because of our income, then there's an injustice. And so if I can't afford to participate in the benefits of solar energy, which is financial, because I can't afford to put panels on my rooftop, you and I are imbalanced. And so this is to create a balance where there wasn't one. If you also look at the fact that, say, I'm a low-income family, and a huge part of my monthly income is my utility bill. First it's rent, then it's utility. I'm having to decide, am I going to feed the family or am I going to pay my utilities? So many families in the state of New Jersey are needing assistance to pay utility bills. So this is to say, let's help them with their utility cost before they need help with their utility bill. So it makes it available to you and me equally. That's the justice part.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Well, thank you very much. I will follow up, and you can certainly field any questions through the clerk. Thank you again, Ray Campari, for having me, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Move on to public comment on agenda items only. If anybody has questions or concerns on the agenda, please come up to the podium, state your name, your comments. Seeing nobody, will close the public comment on agenda items only and move to discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek?
Not at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Hewitt?
No, not this time, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McQuaid?
It's the same, not at this time.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Sure, I have something to say. First of all, you guys will see the demolition plans and the site concept plan for the Wheaton property, 300 G Street. So if you know, I know some of you had a chance to look at them already. They're there for the members of the public to look at as well. Pretty interesting. Stuff should be coming down sometime in October, it looks like. We'll do the transfer of property on Friday. The deed transfer should occur. I'll get into a little bit more at the regular meeting during my report. Next, UEZ funds, and I'll announce this again at the regular meeting. We partnered with Rutgers University for UEZ loans, and their role is going to be one of risk assessment, so that we can ensure that those mistakes made in the past aren't repeated. And second generation funds will be available for generations to come rather than disappear after one loan. So that's all good news.
Good.
Progress.
And at this time, I don't have any comments. We'll go to public comments. If anybody would like to address the commission with questions or concerns, please come to the podium, state your name, address, and concerns, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Okay, seeing nobody, will close the public comment portion. Any closing comments of the commissioners? No? All right, and I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll see everybody at 7 o'clock.
Second.
Thanks, Ben.